Y'all, it's Baddie shot o'clock. Baddie Africa. We here. We made it. I'm back on my channel. We're doing a long form video today. There's a lot to talk about in this first episode. First things first, do we actually even officially meet these new girls? Like, I know we introduced them in the confessionals, but did we even get a scene with these new girls in action? Like, this first episode was strictly about the OGs, and that's crazy. We honestly could have saved a little bit more time on this show, and instead of having the confessional introductions this episode, we could have did it next episode, where we're probably gonna wind up officially meeting the new cast members. But yeah, we have a lot to unpack in this first episode. There's gonna be a lot of stuff I'm gonna be talking about that maybe y'all not gonna agree with. But you know me, I be giving opinions nobody asked for. So let's just get into the review. Also, I want to say, don't come at my screenshots. I'm going to be talking about each scene individually because it's not like we had that many scenes. So, yeah. So the episode starts off, we get the introduction of Natalie, we get the introduction of Rolly, right? So they meet at this restaurant I think they're in Atlanta, right? Natalie is going on this rant of, well, I am the CEO. I am the boss here of everybody. I'm tired of these girls like playing with me and talking shit on me and talking dirt on my name. I'm tired of that shit. This season's gonna be completely fucking different. Like, these bitches is gonna know their place, right? Now, two things about this dialogue here. For one, it's kind of incredible to see Rolly sitting here being all buddy and Natalie's sidekick here. Because wasn't Rolly trying to put the pause on Natalie just last season because Natalie wasn't even being a good friend to her? So for Rolly to come back here after everything she said about Natalie and the lack of friendship and these bitches is fake and so on and so forth, it's kind of like, Rolly, you just wanted to be her sidekick, huh? Next, Natalie's sitting here saying that she's going to reestablish herself as the CEO of this show and this brand. I'm not necessarily mad at it because I've been saying that if she's going to do that, she needs to let everybody else know, because I do see that a lot of these girls kind of be feeling like entitled, and like all last season them OGs really felt like they had a chip on their shoulder because they're close to Natalie, and Natalie lets them on the fucking planes, and Natalie be traveling with them solo and all sorts of stuff, and Natalie needs to really sit here and distance herself from these girls. Like, it's either you are a part of the cast or you are the CEO. And if you are the CEO, you should not be sitting here and messing around with these girls like that. Exactly how you're sitting here and running Baddies Gone Wild, where you'll do the introductions and you'll do all that extra stuff and then you're gone. You could do the same thing on this show and make an appearance here and there. So if you're going to get your redemption, you're going to smack bitches that's been talking about you, who's been feeling entitled and who's been too comfortable in their position with you. I'm not even mad at it. I'm really not. We're not going to act like these girls don't be sitting here fighting to be on the bus and on the private jets with Natalie. And then they'll look at the other girls and be like, whatever. Like, let's remember, Biggie last season was crying about, oh, well, bro, I don't care about being on the jet. I don't give a fuck. But then, like, early on in the season, she was crying about having to stay in the house with the girls. Because she's like, why? I don't need to be staying with these girls. I'm above them, bro. No, bro, I'm not talking to these new girls. I don't want to be in the house with the new girls. So to some extent, what Natalie is saying about the OGs is in fact correct. And the OGs hated being called out for that shit. Except for Rolly, but even her saying that, oh, y'all be acting entitled. So do you, Rolly. So shut up. Anyway, so as they're doing their dialogue, Scotty's rolling in and Natalie is looking at Scotty and she's like, oh yeah, Africa, woo! Like acting like she's excited to see Scotty. Even though Natalie just established that she's going to be correcting some of these bitches with their entitlement. So you're being fake already off rip, right? She sees Scotty's outfit, which was definitely cute. Very African vibe. Very cute, right? Natalie's like, oh, your outfit's really cute. And Scotty's like, oh, you think my outfit's cute, but I'm not cute? And it gagged Natalie so bad, I had to just snicker at it because Natalie did not know what to do. She was like, oh, well, it depends on who we're talking about. Blah, 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 blah. Like, Natalie wasn't expecting Scotty to have that quick comeback, and it was hilarious. So now Scotty done set this off. Now Natalie's agitated. Now she's off this, I'm trying to be friends with you, Scotty. Now they're literally embroiled in a back and forth. And I have Rolly sitting here in the middle because she was literally sitting in between both of them looking exactly like this the entire time they were arguing. So as I'm listening to them argue, it's two different arguments going on. Scotty is arguing that Natalie is a bad friend, while Natalie is arguing you need to know your place and your position on this show. You know, Natalie was like, first of all, I had your back at the reunion. Like, when you were supposed to be fighting Big Lex, I was standing there by your side. And Scotty's like, how was you standing there by my side as my friend, but you wanted Big Lex to beat me up, like, a couple days prior? Like, what are you talking about? So Natalie switches it, and she's like, no, I didn't want Big Lex to beat you up. Which, obviously, that was a lie. Because we saw the replay, because Zeus is messy, of Natalie saying, yeah, we want Lex to beat you up. Big Lex gonna beat you up. And then we also remember, because last season wasn't that long ago, we also remember Natalie saying, you yelling at me, telling me to fight when Big Lex is calling you for a fake. Get your ass out there. So Natalie's like, no. You were saying a lot of stuff too. To which, this is true as well. We know when Scotty be having a battery in her back, she starts flapping her gums. And she really do be sitting there yelling and squawking at Big Lex, who don't even really be getting involved in the fight. She just be trying to break it up. And then for Scotty to sit here and advocate for Anna, talking about, oh, Anna mad small and you're mad big. Like, you and Lex are not the same size, and you was beating on Anna over and over and over. Yeah, you was talking your shit, Scotty. So don't even act like the fade is just not warranted anyway. Whether Natalie calls for your fade or not, you was popping your shit to Big Lex, knowing your ass ain't want to fucking fight her. So you just have to run the fade regardless. Because let's also keep in mind, they started shooting this not too long after the reunion was shot. So we're still continuing the beefs from the reunion into Africa now. So then Natalie is saying, well, I'm tired of you, Scotty, putting me in weird shit. And so when I heard that, I'm like, well, what did Scotty put you in? Because as far as I see it, Scotty was up your ass. She don't really want to have you involved in shit. Realistically, she's always been defending you. So Natalie brings up the fact that Scotty says she went in Natalie's room, stole the chain, and was like, yeah, I'm the one that's gonna be giving you your chain, Summer, and you're gonna have to get through me if you want this chain, bitch. You'll never get it because I got it. I run this shit. You know, all that shit she was popping on that table. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I kind of get it. That was a weird position you did put her in, because you made Natalie not look like she runs the show. You made it seem like because you're Natalie's friend, you can also make decisions on this show. And you cannot make decisions on this show, Scotty. Let's be fucking for real. And this is the shit that I be talking about when it comes to Scotty. I understand y'all love her and she's the least problematic, but I don't like her attitude most of the fucking time, because she does walk with this sense of entitlement. Natalie is correct in that. Scotty definitely comes off as one of those girls that are like, well, if that's my best friend, I'm going to tell you what to do because you're not her friend. I'm her friend. I run this shit because she runs this shit. Whatever's my friend's shit is my shit too. And on top of that, she's also fucking Lemmy. So Scotty, in that very moment, just had a really big fucking head. And I don't see enough people calling that shit out. And the thing is, I don't necessarily dislike Scotty. She don't be doing enough for me to even really dislike her. But when she does do shit, I have to call out, like, bro, why the fuck would you do that? That's fucking weird. Or that's some weak ass shit. Or you're contradicting yourself. Or whatever the case is. Scotty did overstep her boundary. And that made Natalie look bad. So Natalie have a right to call that out and be like, listen, I know we're friends and all, but in the world of business, you're my employee. Don't you ever think that you can step up here and say you running something, because you don't. Scotty has to know when it's a time for business and when it's a time for friendship. Scotty puts the two together, and that's a problem. And Natalie do have to establish, I understand we are friends, but I'm all y'all bosses. Y'all gonna respect me as your boss first, and then we could be friends later. Like, come on. So when Natalie is talking about this, Scotty's like, we're not going to talk about that because that was last season. Why aren't we going to talk about it, Scotty? We should. I 100% think that Scotty don't want to talk about it because she don't want to hear Natalie say, know your fucking position. Scotty don't want to ever hear that shit. So Natalie ends the argument and saying, I'm done putting on my stories. Like, I had nothing to do with this. I'm done playing with y'all bitches. Like, I'm done. This season's different. I'm not doing this shit with y'all no more. And then it cuts to black. So now we're getting Anna Mac, who is arriving at the restaurant. Anna is there to discuss her beef with Natalie. I really still don't understand the origin of where their beef came from, but I know it has a lot to do with Stunner Girl. And if my memory serves me correctly, and y'all can correct me in the comments, I don't mind. Please fact check me. Anna hopped into the whole mix of what happened to Ivory. Anna didn't like the fact that Stunner Girl had the drop on Ivory, and she thought Natalie was the one that put the drop on Ivory. And Natalie was on the internet fighting back and forth with Anna about that, and also mentioning, well, Anna, you have an issue with Stunner Girl, don't you? Because this beef also stems all the way back to the fact that Stunner Girl, revealed to the world that even Anna was out here fucking Lemmy the same time Scotty was, and she could have caught the clap too. And not only that, Anna sent Stunner her address and told her, yo, come fight me. Stunner Girl showed up, and Anna never came outside, saying, oh, security won't let me out, which I don't think is really the thing, but neither here or there. Other thing, when it comes to Natalie, Anna is very pissed at Natalie for being a bad friend to Scotty, to which, once again, and I'm going to keep saying this over and over and over because y'all be fucking phony with this shit when it comes to Lex. Y'all hate Lex for her association with Bad Dolly and Summer. I get it. But y'all also kept saying Lex don't mind her fucking business. Neither does Anna, because why is Scotty and Natalie's situation in your mouth? What does it got to do with you? And why all of a sudden you're up Scotty's ass? Because you don't have no allies this season. You need an ally. So now Anna comes in. She's not on some high shit. She's just like, yeah, hey, what up? She sits down, and then Natalie's like, oh, look at that. Y'all came on the season, or y'all started y'all season fighting each other. Now look at y'all over there being fake and being friends. So Anna and Scotty flash this look, and they're like, oh, no, we're not besties. We're not besties. You don't know what you're talking about. Like, we can stand on the fact that we're not besties. So Anna starts flapping her gums, and she's like, yeah, we're not besties, and we're not the ones that's going to sit here and pretend to be besties and run to the internet and start talking about the other like a dog. But Anna, you literally just did that. Ain't you the same girl who was besties with Biggie, and as soon as she didn't react the way you wanted her to, you got on this internet and talked shit about her like a dog? So don't sit here and try to tell Natalie on how to be a better friend or give the definition of what a fake friend is, because you're a fake friend too. So they're bickering back and forth about, oh, we're not friends. And then Rolly's like, all right, pack this shit up. Like, what's the end goal here? Scotty jumps up and she's like, oh, Natalie, don't fuck with me. Because if she did, she would have never sat here and said Big Lex should beat me up. And Natalie's saying, you saying that I've never fucked with you is kind of crazy. And once again, not gonna lie, I can't feel sympathy for Scotty, because how you got on this show not knowing who you was fucking with. I'm going to say this every single time. Every single time some of these bitches are going to sit here and complain about Natalie being a bad friend, a bad person, she messy. Yeah. You want me to feel bad for you? Because she's been like this since Bad Girls Club. Nothing about Natalie has changed. She has not developed. Okay? So now you're feeling the wrath of Natalie, and you want me to feel bad for you? You want me to sit here and call her a bad friend? I'm not going to. We already knew that. If I know the devil is hot and I touch his hand and burn myself, should I sit here and ask for sympathy that I burnt myself over someone I knew is hot? Like, I don't... Yo. Then as they're talking again, Natalie's bringing up the whole, you stood on that table and you made it seem like I wasn't giving Summer a chain, and you were in my room. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? You took that chain, you put it on Capri, which was cute. And then Natalie's reenacting the scene, and then she winds up saying, yeah, I don't give a fuck about you or the dog. And Scotty's like, yeah, I know. See, it's little shit like that that makes me look at Scotty like she's a fucking bubblehead. If you knew that fucking Natalie did not like you or your fucking dog, why in the abso-fucking-loop fuck do you still continue to fuck with her? Because you have a level of entitlement when it comes to being friends with Natalie. And you have no other means of staying relevant when it comes to baddies. I'm not going to sit here and act like Scotty is great on her own. She has to be with Natalie or Rolly or Jayla and now Anna. That's how she stays relevant in this whole entire series. Because realistically, when Scotty got nobody to beef with, she's just there. Natalie literally told you, 2 or 3 seasons ago when y'all fought each other for the first time and Lemmy broke that up? She said, do you know all the shit I have to go through for you to even bring your stupid fucking dog on this fucking plane, and you're gonna sit here and tell me I don't care about you? I do all of that clearing shit. I get all that shit done just for your ass. You heard her say that to your face, and you still said, nah, we can still be besties and I love you, and I'm gonna eat your coochie after this. You're wildin', Scotty. And so Natalie's like, you didn't stand on all that energy you had when you were standing up on that table. And Scotty's like, what are you talking about? Yes, I did. And Natalie starts throwing herself under the table like, no, you was ducking face from Big Lex. Big Lex stood up on the bar, called you out for a fade, and you just sat here complaining like, oh, what? Like, why are we fighting? What the fuck are you talking about? You was ducking a fucking fade. And Natalie's arguing that's the reason she said you need to fucking fight Big Lex. Big Lex is gonna beat you up because you keep ducking the fucking fade. She's gonna catch you. And Natalie's not telling one lie. She definitely was ducking fades even up to the fucking reunion. And don't no one in my comments be like, well, Scotty did wind up getting up. That took like an hour for Scotty to do. Lex called her out 3-4 times and she sat there trying to cop every kind of plea and ask like these questions like, well, me and you don't have an issue. Like, I don't know why you're upset with me. I don't know why you want to fight me. I'm fighting on your friend. What beef me and you got? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm still confused as to why Scotty is so shocked that Lex want to fight for her friend, because Scotty, you sat here and you was crying at the fact that Natalie didn't even fight for you. So only Natalie's allowed to be a friend to you, but Lex being a friend to Summer is corny to you? Stop it. Again, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to Scotty. So Scotty, even though Natalie was screaming, Scotty says, oh, but you'll be ducking fades too. Like, you ducking from DTB. You gotta call this out, Scotty. That's not true. Natalie got into the paint with Diamond the Body and even attempted to sneak slap her just like DTB snook slapped her. So what fade was Natalie ducking? This point, Scotty's just reaching for air because she's not winning this argument about her ducking a fade from Lex. She don't want to say that she's scared of Lex. And if she said that, I would probably have a little bit more respect for her, but she's not going to. So now Anna jumping in for Scotty because Scotty was drowning in that argument. Anna's like, oh, you know what? Fuck you, Natalie, because you keep fucking with bitches and then you be tight as fuck when bitches turn up on you. You always be a mess. You overdo your fucking job. Didn't know Scotty needed a mouthpiece. Anna, shut the fuck up. But then also on the back end, she is kind of right. Because Natalie, you do be involving yourself a part of this cast. And then when it comes time for bitches to want to line up with you, you're like, I'm not fighting y'all bitches. I'm the CEO. Then stay in the back. Play in the background. So while I want Anna to stop being a fucking mouthpiece for a bitch she came on this show fighting over community dick with, she do have a point. Natalie, you are fucking messy. But like I said before, y'all just now realizing this? Y'all was sitting here kikiing and drinking and having fun and talking to Natalie this whole entire time. It wasn't a problem when she was doing that sneak shit with other bitches. But now that it's affecting you, oh, you a weird bitch. She wasn't a weird bitch back then? So Natalie finally sits down and she's like, well, you and I are going to have dinner with Stunner Girl later. And Anna, she got quiet and she was like, all right, well, that's fine. I got a couple things to get off my chest anyway. So Natalie's in her confessionals and she's like, yeah, Anna, every time she gets on a podcast, she's talking shit about Stunner Girl. The fans want Stunner Girl to come back. So we'll just have a sit down tonight and they can both get it off their chest. And she got this evil little fucking smile, which is why, once again, are y'all really surprised that Natalie is kind of a fucking snake? Like, she's sitting up here with these dreadlocks that look like snakes. Like, come on, she's giving you fucking Medusa. Now Natalie is talking about being ready for Africa, and she's like, Anna, you look scared. Anna's like, oh, you the scariest bitch on this show, blah, 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 blah. So Natalie's like, you think I'm scared? Let's run the fade. I do want to point out that when they both stood up, Natalie stood up and started walking towards Anna. Anna stood up and started walking the opposite direction of Natalie. So what are we doing here? Anna, are you scared? Because if I'm going to fight someone, I'm going to walk towards them, not the opposite direction of where they're at. I'm just saying. Anna's also letting us know that producers told her not to fight Natalie. And Natalie's like, no, fuck that shit. Come fight me. Let's run this fucking fade. And at some point, Natalie walks up behind security and tries to do a swing. And I actually think she connected with Anna. And then in the meantime, in the background, Scotty is starting to grab plates to throw at fucking Natalie. So Rolly stands up. She's like, y'all not about to jump Natalie. And Scotty's like, who's about to jump Natalie? The fuck you talking about? Da 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 da. So Scotty starts throwing stuff and it hits Rolly. So Rolly walks up on Scotty and she's like, yo, I told you to stop throwing fucking shit because you just hit me with the fucking plate, Scotty. And Scotty's like, oh, my bad. Because she knows she didn't want no smoke with Rolly. Rolly would bring Scotty down 3 inches, bro. So Scotty's still throwing shit. She's trying to get to Natalie. Natalie's being protected. Scotty's kind of being protected. Anna's just off in the corner talking about, oh, let Scotty and Natalie fight. Let them fight. Let them fight. Now why let them fight? You was just all up in their business. What you talking about? So then Scotty, again, in her bag, she's up here saying, well, Natalie, you wish you was in the pretty category like me and Big Lex. Scotty, you kind of ate that because Natalie do be ugly. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, I'm not like, man, all the looks that Natalie has presented on this show, I would say maybe there's been 30% of the time that she's looked good, and the other half she's not looked good. I'm not going to sit here and say Scotty's ugly, because she's not. Big Lex not ugly either. I actually prefer Big Lex over Scotty, but you know, that's just a preference thing. But they're both very, very beautiful women. Like, if both of them could get over their issues and be friends and go into the clubs and start bagging niggas, they could definitely do it. Like, they would be the dynamic duo when it comes to playing niggas. But also, shout out to Scotty for having the maturity of identifying, like, they're two of the prettiest bitches on the show. Because if I hate a bitch, I'm gonna call her ugly, even though she might be looking like Beyonce. You still ugly, bitch, okay? So while Scotty's making all these ugly face jokes and all this other stuff, she runs over to Anna and they having like their little, we got her, girl. For a bunch of business, not best friends. I mean, y'all over there real huddled up. But, you know, that's neither here or there. So since security wouldn't let Natalie fight, Natalie grabbed her stuff and she leaves. She runs out to her truck. She's ready to go. Rolly now is running after Natalie. And you know why this scene was significant to me? Who is typically the one that be running after Natalie whenever Natalie gets into a big fire or altercation? Scotty. Rolly is now playing the position of Scotty. And do I think this was somewhat planned? Absolutely. Rolly sat back and played her part. Rolly's also the same girl who put Scotty on blast for being a bad friend to Natalie. That's why I feel like this was planned. But it's also fake too, because you sat on that stage crying that Scotty wasn't a good friend to you. But you're also not a good friend to Scotty because you've been plotting on her position with Natalie for a very long time. Everything Scotty, or everything you did in this scene with Natalie, is what Scotty would typically do. But now that Scotty and Natalie aren't friends, you're Scotty. I see what's happening here. Do y'all see it? I see it. I also want to say Natalie shooed Rolly away the same exact way that she'd be shooing Scotty away. Ciao. So Rolly goes back inside and she's sitting down with Anna and Scotty, and they're finally eating food. We're finally able to see them eat, you guys. That's crazy. Rolly is trying to have this whole moment of everybody needs to be accountable. Like, y'all calling her ugly and calling each other ugly. This is stupid. And Scotty tried to sit here and lie and say, I didn't call her ugly, even though you literally just called her ugly. But that's neither here or there. So now with Scotty saying, oh, Natalie called me ugly first, blah, 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 blah. Rolly starts getting loud. She's like, all of y'all need to grow the fuck up. Realistically, all of y'all need to grow the fuck up. And Rolly... You can't tell nobody to grow the fuck up when you spent your entire last season fighting Slim over commentary that you made. You threw Slim into whatever Gretchen and Jayla situation. Slim hasn't even been on the show. Nobody's been discussing this girl. You brought up her dead father. What the fuck? Whether it's minor or not, that was childish for you to do. Why are you using your best friend as a point of like reference for something that Gretchen shouldn't be saying? On top of that, you didn't even do Diamond the Body, who spoke about your son the same exact way you did Slim, who also spoke about your son after you came at her first. Once again, that's childish. You can't sit here and tell nobody to grow the fuck up when you realistically was just bullying that girl all last season. You childish for that. You could have just got the fuck over it and said you're not gonna be on the show because I don't fuck with you. Anyway, they start talking about Stunner Girl. Anna's like, I'll slap the fuck out of Natalie. I might get jumped, I might not, but I ain't staying here to eat. I'm gonna go get ready. I'll catch y'all on the flip side. So as soon as Anna leaves, she gets on the phone, calls Diamond the Body. She's giving Diamond the rundown of everything that happened. And Diamond's like, yeah, bitch, why the fuck Natalie didn't invite me to this fucking, whatever. Diamond was trying to paint Natalie as scary, and I really don't even think that's the fucking case. Natalie has Scotty there and Anna there, both bitches who don't like her. So she didn't invite you because there was no reason for you to even be there. You have nothing to do with their beef. You and Natalie have a separate beef, so that's probably why she didn't invite you. She was gonna see you one-on-one by yourselves. So Diamond is like, well, Natalie now is gonna have it out for us and whatever. We have to try and build an alliance. So Anna and Diamond are coming up with this idea to build an alliance with the other girls in the house, so that way they can get back at Natalie for all the times that she's came at like the OGs and all this other stuff. Diamond, you're stupid. And I don't even think you're thinking ahead, because it's very clear that Summer, Dolly, and Lex have an allegiance to Natalie. Summer got the Bad Girls Club thing tatted on her, well, branded into her chest, and then she's got Natalie's name tatted on her. Do you really fucking think that bitch is gonna switch on Natalie? And then let's say they sat down and have this conversation with you, right? Let's say this conversation happens. Do you honestly think they wasn't gonna run to Natalie right after and tell her your plan of trying to do a coup d'etat on this bitch? Like, Diamond, you really not smart. You're not smart at all. Like, at all. So now we get to the club. Diamond is there with Ivory. And this comes a day after she just got jumped by Stunner Girl. We have Ivory and Pretty P there. To which Pretty P, very random. Because y'all was beefing last season, no? Like, when did y'all squash it? You know, that's neither here or there. So Ivory's like, I'm not sure about how I feel about Diamond inviting the big trio because, like, I thought we squashed it, but it seemed like some of these girls got to get some shit off their chest. Diamond and Pretty P are like, yeah, whatever type of time they're on, we going to be on the type of time we in alliance now. Pretty P sitting there looking like a straight fucking follower, okay? I'm just going to keep it a buck. So now the trio walks in, and I'm limited on screenshots here because for very obvious reasons, Summer, none other, knows how to not dress, okay? Yeah. This bitch quite literally walked in completely fucking naked. So I have, as you can see, I have screenshots here to cover up the nastiness of this outfit that she was wearing. She looks fucking pitiful. She looks like a broke-ass cheetah girl. She looks like a fucking Grand Theft Auto stripper. She looks disgusting. She looks like she stinks. She looks like she don't clean her coochie or shave it, and all the stank is just in the hair. Yeah, it's bad, okay? So I apologize for these screenshots here. But as soon as they walk in, Diamond's trying to say, oh, hey, we want to just have this conversation. Dolly locks in on Ivory, and they start tussling. I want to note here in this screenshot that, as you can see, Big Lex is sitting down. She came there to just have a conversation and hear what these girls got to say. That Dolly and Summer came in on that type of fucking energy. And this is where now I'm starting to look at Lex very corny. Like, I was giving her a pass the first season. She ain't know what to expect. She just, new to the show. She's going to follow whatever she seen on the show and how these girls act and try to follow the rules and all this other stuff. But now here we are. Baddies Africa, her season 2. Lex, at some point you have to look at your friends and be like, y'all are fucking the opportunities up for me. Like, you came there on your professional shit trying to hear these girls out and give them a chance. Your friends didn't give no fucks about that. And they're putting you in a situation where you could have just gotten attacked for no reason. And Lex, I wanted to be very clear that people would like you more if you got away from Bad Dolly and Stinky Pussy Summer. Because I don't even think people want to dislike you. They dislike you because of the bitches you keep stepping up for, and those bitches are corny. So their corniness rubs off on you because you defend that type of behavior. I need you to wake up, sis. But as I keep talking about this fight, I do want to talk about Lex a little bit more. Because I don't know if anybody noticed, but the energy with Lex and everything that was happening here was completely different than what we saw last season. So anyway, so they get into this fight. It's Summer and DTB and Ivory and Dolly. So quite literally, initially, Lex jumped up to not jump, but she was trying to break up the fight because she jumped up and said, whoa. Then she looked up and saw Pretty P getting ready to jump into a fair 2-on-2. Pretty P was about to jump. Lex ran up on her, and as you can see in this bottom screenshot, Pretty P jumped back like, oh my God. Like, what? Girl, I wasn't about to jump. What are you talking about? And Big Lex is like, no jumping. Ain't no fucking jumping. So now this is where I really want to start talking about Big Lex. And please comment below if you saw the same shit that I saw. It was a lot going on. Very active in there. Ivory and Dolly shaking. Summer and DTB shaking. To which, can I just say, I think DTB lost that first fight with Summer. Which I kind of get because I don't think she expected Summer to want to fight her. But Diamond, you're bigger than this girl and you fight better than Summer. That should have been an easy kill right there. And I also want to add, I don't think Bad Dolly won that first fight with Ivory either. Maybe the second fight, but not the first fight. But anyway, all in this fight, I didn't really see Big Lex involved in any way, shape, or form. Big Lex tried to break it up. She stopped Pretty P from jumping into a fair 2v2. And then she was missing. Now, that compared to what we saw last season, if them girls was fighting, you saw Big Lex all up in the scene. Big Lex was nowhere to be found in any of these fights. In fact, at one point when the trio, the big three trio, were standing together after the first round, it kind of seemed like Lex was finding entertainment in this. Like, she was laughing. Like I said, y'all, I'm limited on screenshots because of what Summer was wearing, so I apologize. But like, even in this screenshot, you see Dolly look fucked up. You see Summer looking fucked up. And Lex is still pretty as fuck. And in a weird way, she was kind of giggling right here at how fucking stupid these bitches looked. And which is crazy because Big Lex last season was the one that would try to, you know, she would try to break it up. But then she would have just started fighting Pretty P and then it'd be one big brawl. She didn't do none of that shit this time. Either Big Lex is hearing what we're saying, how she looks in regards to them, or she rewatched the season, saw how crazy she looked, and she said, oh, nah, I'm about to be chilling this time. Now, a couple more things to address here in this whole entire scene. Ivory said, I'm willing to... This screenshot of Ivory and Diamond together is actually quite fucking funny. After the first round, Ivory took her rings off, and she told Bad Dolly to take the rings off, and let's run it again. Bad Dolly is actually saying, no, I'm not fighting her again. And this is why I've always said Bad Dolly is a lame-ass, corny-ass bitch. Because you instigated this fight. And now that you fought someone and they want to run another round, you're saying, nah, I ain't fighting again. So she toasted your ass, as we can see. Ivory cooked your ass all the way through and through. Even though I think you might have got the first round because you snuck her. But she was doing you fucking dirt the second time around. Now you scared and you don't want to fucking fight her. The same energy you had at the reunion when she called you out for the fade and you was like, oh no, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. Bad Dolly, you don't get to sit here and say you don't want to fight. You walked in here with Summer saying y'all wanted to fight. You walked up on Ivory and said, yo, what's up? When Ivory was literally sitting there just looking at you. If she wanted to fight you, we all know how Ivory get down. Once she hears your name, she's standing the fuck up. She ripping the wig off. She taking the rings off. She sat there with her defenses down. Obviously not willing to fight you. She was willing to just have a conversation. And you stepped to her. So you think you get the right to sit here and tell her, I'm not fighting you again? Oh, no, bitch. You walked up on me. We fighting again, bitch. Like, Bad Dolly, you look completely weak. One weak-ass bitch. You fight till you win, and then you don't want to fight no more. You're a lame-ass bitch. You also look like you fucking stink. I think you're corny. All your confessionals are fucking hideous. You look like a fucking clown. I don't like Dolly. I don't like Dolly, and I don't like Summer. That's it. Also, I want to add in here, in the midst of all this arguing and screaming and back and forth, Big Lex is trying to tell these girls to shut the fuck up so that way they can sit there and listen to Diamond the Body. Once again, Lex's energy is completely fucking different than what it was last season. And we got to give her props because she ain't doing the fucking most. She's trying to tell her friends, yo, shut up. Let's just hear what the fuck they got to say. This was completely unnecessary. I'm very interested in seeing how the dynamic with these three are going to work in this season. I know they just did the Baddies Africa premiere last night and the three of them showed up together. But I really want to see how Lex is going to maneuver this season because even in the preview, she seemed pretty much solo most of that time. There wasn't Dolly or Summer really next to her. It was Lex acting out on her own. So very interested in seeing how this dynamic is going to work this season. Last thing I want to address. It happened real quickly, but it should be spoken about. After fighting Ivory, Summer turned her stank ass around and said she looked like Emmett Till, and her and Bad Dolly started laughing about it. I don't understand in what world that shit is funny or even a comment that you would want to make, but that's not cute whatsoever. And this is like, Summer is the type of bitch I don't fucking like, and Dolly's just a follow-up bitch. For you to make a comment like that, I don't understand. I really don't. It's bitches like them that make black people as a whole look like Neanderthals. You woke up on this show dressed like a fucking kid's toy box and like a fucking dirty ass prostitute off of fucking Crenshaw. And then you're going to sit here, turn around and make a comment like that, not like knowing exactly how traumatic and sad of a story that was. And then on top of that, I'm going through Twitter and I'm seeing if people caught that. And someone did catch that comment. They reposted it. And there's youth in them comments talking about, well, what's the issue with her calling, you know, what's her face, Emmett Till? And this youth is definitely letting us know they don't even know who this man is. And then the follow-up, when people are saying y'all are dumb because y'all need to, know who this man is, they're like, well, we don't care about stuff that's happening in the 90s. I had to do a pause there because Emmett Till was not in the 90s. This was 1955 that boy died. That was like yesterday. There are enough people in this world that was alive at that time that can retell the story, whether they was there in the state, they was somewhat of a witness, or they saw it on the news. This generation is cooked where baddies is more important than actual just African American history. And when I say this generation, I'm specifically talking about Black kids. I have never felt such shame and embarrassment in reading those comments. That makes me very fearful for where our generation is going. And I kind of blame the parents, because why are y'all not sitting down and having these type of conversations with your children, especially your Black children? Because what happened back in the day, we're still dealing with today, just in a whole new way of doing it. Now we have a man in office who's not afraid to be racist out loud. So these races are coming back forward. You think we won't run into another Emmett Till situation again one day? As long as this man is the authority for the Americas? Please start putting parental control on your children's stuff, whether they're a teenager, I don't give a fuck. If they can't sit here and recount African American history or just history in general, they do not need to be watching baddies. And y'all need to be better in monitoring what your kids are watching. Because we have these retarded ass fucking kids who don't even know their own fucking foundation, but are quickly to be on the internet and play the woke character. Y'all are woke to baddies. That's it. And I hate that Summer was educated enough to use that man as a reference, but she dumb as fuck. And this is who the youth is watching as a, oh my God, I could be like her. This is embarrassing. There needs to be an actual discussion about this shit. Moving on. So there was nothing that really came after that. They just kept arguing and that scene ended. Now we're getting to the return of Stunner Girl. This will always be very funny to me because Stunner Girl is the one who blew the lid off on all of them bitches sleeping with Lemmy and also exposed Natalie as well. So the fact that Natalie is now sitting here being buddy with Stunner Girl and they sitting at the table and they laughing and doing this and doing that, really crazy to me. I'm putting a spotlight on Natalie because she said something last night that I'm not seeing a lot of people talk about, but I'm going to talk about it. In the midst of her having a discussion with Stunner Girl about what happened between her and Anna at the dinner earlier and what happened with Ivory, that came up. Stunner Girl being very lighthearted with it, she's not giving a lot of details. Because, Stunner Girl, she an actual street bitch. She not about to criminate herself. Natalie is in her confessionals and she's sitting here and she's saying, there's rumors that I gave Stunner Girl Ivory's hotel room. I don't even know where these girls be staying at. That's not information that I'm privy to. However, Natalie, what a coincidence that you was on the flight with Stunner Girl. You posted that on Instagram. Then you also posted, oh, the tea I just got on this plane with Stunner Girl. Wow, love it. Ha ha ha, teacup. And then all of a sudden, 2 hours later, Ivory gets jumped? Y'all are not telling the truth. Now, this might be a reach, but hear me out. You know who was also at this Atlanta booking with Ivory when she got jumped? Pretty P. Why do I have this odd feeling that Pretty P has some slight involvement in this? But because she's so quiet and just out of the way, no one is thinking about her. Pretty P in the previous scene admitted that she was standing right there when Ivory, when all that shit popped off. There was the one that was booked to go to the club. So I'm pretty sure that they was booked in the same hotel. There is a piece of me that thinks Natalie had texted Pretty P and said, hey, yo, I know you at the club. I might want to come visit. Like, what hotel you staying at? I might just come pregame with y'all, then I'll meet y'all at the club. And Pretty P definitely told Natalie where they were. Like I said, this could be a reach, but I do think Pretty P has some sort of involvement in giving the drop on Ivory. No other girl was there except Ivory and Pretty P. And please note, I'm only saying Pretty P gave the location of where they were staying at. They was posting flyers about being at the club. So that's where Stunner Girl got the drop on finding them at the club. Because they did fight at the club, then there was a fight or a jumping at the hotel. Natalie is the weasel in all of this, but she's not going to admit it. And when Stunner Girl was sitting there saying, yeah, that's why I cleared your name. Even Stunner Girl saying that, it didn't even seem genuine. Not whatsoever. So them two are lying about something. They are now friends. They cool. So they gonna protect each other. And this is exactly what Natalie wants. She ain't got Scotty no more. Now she got Rolly and Stunner Girl. The two bitches that nobody wants to fight. That truck was rude as fuck. I know y'all heard that shit in the background. God damn. So now finally Anna walks in. And if this is not the face of a girl who looks a little petrified, then I don't know what is. Anna got her hands tucked. She got on a coat. She got on this hat. But her face looks very worried. Security's trying to check her. She's not untucking her hands, so she probably got on rings, a brass knuckle, something. Because Tasiki not there to protect her, and neither is Biggie, even though Biggie wasn't going to protect her ass anyway. Biggie's scared as shit of Stunner. So Stunner Girl steps up, and she's ready to fight. She's ready to pop, but Natalie is like stepping in front of him like, no. Let's have a conversation. Let's sit down, whatever. Let's have a conversation. So Natalie is now standing there arguing with Anna. Stunner Girl is literally standing in the back watching them argue. They're arguing. Anna is calling her a bitch, suck her dick, all this other shit. So now that's starting to enrage Natalie. Because now Natalie's on this. Who you think you talking to? I'm the boss. You're my employee. Who the fuck are you talking to? Then now Anna swung on Natalie, clipped her. And then these two girls start fighting. And when I say Natalie was starting to get her ass whooped, that's crazy. Anna started wanging on Natalie and didn't even know what to do. Like, I really do think Anna beat the shit out of Natalie. And even in the previews we see for next week, it looks like Anna was getting the best of her. Natalie, you should be ashamed of yourself for letting this little ass girl beat you up. But you're also not a great fighter either, so I guess I get it. But let me know what you guys think down low. Please like, comment, subscribe. I will be back next week with another Baddies review. And I'll see you then. Bye.